Okay, it's Wednesday afternoon. I'm with BNP GLA member, Assembly Member Barnbrook, and Richard, you've just had another meeting inside the Assembly, which you're standing in front of now. I think, although I'm very biased, that was probably your best performance today. You tell me what points you've got across today.
Well, it was basically, and it's a bit drizzly outside and it's a bit damp here. That's because we've been walking the streets, talking to people and getting their response from issues that came forward in the Assembly today. I think one of the key issues was, which I think upsetted me, and I think even, truth be known, a lot of the Conservatives, they did abstain or wanted to be voted, is a petition going forward with the idea that after the murder, unfortunate murder in custody murder, this is correct, death in custody. Police in Woolwich, a gentleman died, name misses me at the moment, but the Labour Party suggested that there should be a clampdown on the police's approach towards the arrest of Asian, black minority groups. Didn't mention anything about the white community and how they should be reacting when they're being held or arrested for a crime committed. So the idea maybe from the Labour was, and sort of Rainbow Alliance, is that one person be one person. Now what happens if that minority person has a gun or a knife against one policewoman? No chance at all. So the fact of them putting it forward only to represent the minority groups, black and Asians, and not the whites, was a total and absolute racist statement. And I made that clear to the whole Assembly and the audience as well. You cannot allow a petition like this to go through to the Crown Prosecution Services, simply alienating one part of the community. And I believe it also put the police in jeopardy.
Yeah, you did make that point very strongly indeed, actually, and I looked around, and you certainly made the Conservatives think, and half of them did abstain, didn't they?
They did. I think they used the wise, common sense approach. These sort of racist statements cannot be put forward to our police prosecution services, or even to the Metropolitan Police, and definitely not to the Assembly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely sure in my mind, without a shadow of a doubt, that thing would have been nodded through without even a heartbeat, a heart murmur, if you hadn't have been there. As it was put through, but you expect that, don't you, in this place? That was the start of things, but I think you made a very good point when you were questioning the Deputy Mayor, or one of the plethora of Deputy Mayors that we have in this building. What were the questions you asked him?
Well, the question was on the resignation, or was it a sack? Was it resignation?
Yeah, this is Ray Lewis, isn't it?
Ray Lewis?
Yeah.
Or was he actually pushed? And the question was quite simple. Is that person still in employment what I mean by this, being paid from the GLA? I came back in a roundabout way saying, well, not really. Then I went a bit further forward because Ray Lewis made a comment that even though I've resigned, I'd still love to work with Boris. And I'm hoping Boris will open his arms to me to let me come back as an unemployed. He was unemployed if the allegations come true. But actually come back as a non-paid advisor. Now this is ludicrous. And again, dear old Park skirted around the whole question and in effect almost said, actually yes, if Boris thinks that he is a good old chap, even all these allegations against him regarding sexual offences and misappropriation of finances, if Boris thinks he's a good old chap, then we'll have him back in the Assembly. And this is just absolutely disgusting. It stinks and smells of Lee Jasper and Ken Livingstone.
Yeah, it must be emphasised that these are only allegations, but they are very serious allegations. And Tim Parker, when he actually said that he wouldn't confirm that Ray Lewis wouldn't work for the GLA again, even on the quiet, I think you could see a bit of recognition there from the other Assembly members that yes, you'd scored a significant point there, hadn't you?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
And another point, I think, which we put forward was this time to the representative of the Metropolitan Police, where I said, look, you know, this situation of crime, especially youth crime and knife crime, right throughout the capital city, we need to have custodial sentences handed out where you're found with a knife. Now, Brown said on the eve of the death of the black security guard in Oxford Street, no, we're not going to have any custodial sentences for possession of knives. Then he came back about 3 weeks ago and said, yes, we are going to have custodial sentences for people found with knives. And now, Brown seems to have backed down by letting Straw come forward and say, well, our hands are tied by the European or this law or that law, or some ism and schism that we can't give out custodial sentences. Our argument here is quite simple. Minimum 3 years you're found with a knife on the streets. No matter what knife it is, 3 years. And again, the police come out and say, well, we can't really do this, we can't really push forward with this, it seems too sensitive. What's going to happen here and what's going to happen here? A kid locked up for 2 years, 16-year-old, is he going to come out this or that? It makes no difference. If it saves one life, not just the 20 or 19 that died just this year in London, teenagers, if it just saves one life, a prison sentence is the only way forward.
Yeah, I think you certainly made your point today. It's been a good day. I think a lot of people realise what you're capable of now. Some of your opponents looking a little bit nervous as what the next few months in the Assembly are going to bring with Richard Barnbrook in the Assembly. Richard, you've certainly made a difference, haven't you?
I certainly have, and I'll continue to do so. You won't find me sleeping on my watch.